show you a quite advanced part of Shape You by Ed Sheeran. Now this part is the part that sort of the synth or whatever instrument it is plays, but it was one I'd taken in lessons with students and moved it up the neck. Now you can't play the open chords, but keep in mind that this is a fairly advanced bit, so of course if anybody's any questions at any stage, drop a comment below, I'll be happy to answer. Let's get into it. The first thing we're going to run through is the actual note content. So let's take a look at the fretboard, and you're going to bar your index finger across the 9th fret, starting from the G string all the way down to the thin E string. Then your ring finger is going to go on the 11th fret of the D string. Alright, now just to talk about the fingers I'm going to use to pick it, it is better to finger pick this because using an actual pick, we don't have that separation between the strings. So I'm using my thumb on the D string, middle on the B, and ring finger on the E string. And this is how it sounds. Quite a common problem area with this for students can be making the clearance with your ring finger. So make sure that you have this knuckle here arched up. Alright, so I'll just turn this in towards the camera, hopefully this will work. Right, excuse this angle, but it's kind of in your face, but it'll give you an idea how it goes. So my index finger is wrapped across, or wrapped down on top of the 9th fret. Now watch the way I'm going to get my ring finger onto the fretboard. Note the way that it's really arched. It's not like this. So get it on really arched. And a thing that can help that is keeping your thumb lower down on the back of the neck. So when I play this, my thumb is in and around that angle. Okay, it might start up here at times, but it's going to drop there for that part. And that's our first chord. Now, we will get into the rhythms in just a moment, but the rhythm repeats every bar. So once we have the rhythm once, we'll have it for everything. Right, so now we got that. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to get your pinky and put it on the 12th fret of the thin E string. And that's our second chord. Okay, and it's going to repeat. It's going to go. Now, all you're going to do for the next chord is this. You're going to get your index now, and it's going to actually go up to the A string, and it's going to go all the way down the neck. But keep in mind that we're not using every string, so there's no real reason to press down on every single string. The ones that have pressure on would be the A string and just the thin E string. And those two notes are a repeating feature in the song, the ones that go. And this note is in at a good lot too. Alright, so that kind of gets us into a good part of it. Now, back to this bar. Sorry, got sidetracked. It goes. And again, for most of this piece, I'm using my thumb for the bass notes. I'm using my middle for the B string here. And ring for the E. Alright, so now we get. From the beginning, it goes 3, 4. Now this is why I said it's fairly advanced at times if you're not up this part of the neck too much, because there's a lot of swift movements, but we'll break it down in a few minutes again. So that's the second bar, or sorry, that's the second part. It moves so fast, it's in the same bar. Now we got that much, let's talk about the rhythm. Okay, I'm going to clap it just for a moment. The reason I'm going to clap it is, as I say to my own students, if you're trying to do a rhythm and you don't fully have it, and then you're trying to play the chords as well as the rhythm, you kind of this whole big thing to keep an eye out on. But if we make sure we have the rhythm first, then add it back into our chords, it can really help. So it goes like this. It goes 1 E and a 2 E and a. So we clap on the first beat, and we clap on the 1 E and a. We clap at the end of that too. 1 E and a 2 E and a. Right? So now we only have the 3 hits. And I practiced that for a while. I'll be sure that I'm comfy going like this. I'm comfy going 3. I'm going to tap the ground. Hopefully it won't shake the camera. 3, 4. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a. Now, how that translates to the notes is as follows. It goes 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a. Sped up. 3, 4. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 2 E. As you can hear, counting that fast, it's trickier than playing the piece. So for that reason, I'd recommend that you just count it with the 1 E and a to get a feel for where the hits go. And then, once you have the feel, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a. Alright, now that's the rhythm covered for all the song. But let's get into the second bar with the remaining 2 chords. Alright, so in the second and final bar of this, you have the index finger on the E string, 9th fret, middle finger on the B string on the 10th fret, and finally we have our, we're going to use our ring finger. Okay, I am on a Baby Taylor, but I've played this on a big guitar multiple times, and usually I go for this finger. So, that's our chord. Again, thumb, middle, ring on the fingers we pick with. Now, and we have that pinky to cover the 12th fret on E again. So it goes 3, 4. Okay, and the last bit. Pinky on the 11th fret of E, ring finger on the 11th fret of G, index finger on the 9th fret of D. That's what we get. Now I'm going to get my index, and again I'm going to flatten it there, just at that point. Then lift off the pinky. So that's what we get. So it's the 9th. Finally, the pinky goes on the 12th fret of B. Kind of sounds like 3 blind mice. Anyways, so all together in that bar we get this. So it goes 3, 4. I'm going to be honest, that is the trickiest change to me anyways of the whole lot, getting from here to there. A point to watch too at that point, on the last chord, you're going to notice that I'm using my thumb, again on the bass note as normal. I'm going to use my index this time on the G string, my ring on the thin E. Then finally on the last hit of the whole thing, it's thumb, index, middle. Okay, so all together it goes something like this. So it goes 3, 4. Alright, so no matter how long you've been playing it, it can still catch you out. Right, so that's all the synth part, okay? There's many stuff going on underneath it, of course, but the thing to watch really with it is getting those movements really swift. Like picking that'll be okay. But in terms of getting the movements now, tips I'd have, I take the first part of each movement. So for example, this to this. When I learned this first, I must have done that I don't know how many times just to get used to it. The other stuff that's added onto it, like this, that'll take care of itself once you've landed on the start of the chord. So this to this, then this part to this part. Notice the way that my hand really has to rock around, like it has to go. That is a movement worth working on to get precision. And finally, take that back and over. And that is the main part of Shape You by Ed Sheeran. Now, of course, as I was saying, that's fairly advanced for all the movements and the dexterity and stuff like that. So break it down, keep it slow, but the main thing is just aim to get a bit better every day or every week, and you will get there eventually, I promise you. If anybody's any questions on any of the stuff, drop a comment below. And if you found this a use, please hit subscribe. There'll be more lessons added every week from now on. Another small thing is I transcribe this using Guitar Pro, and what I've done is I've uploaded it to Songster. So there's a link beneath the video of the Songster tab, so you can see the tab playing along in real time and be able to follow along, and it can really connect things up. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Catch you soon.